Hello and welcome, friends and fellow adventurers, to the 49th campaign episode of Cocked, a real play RPG podcast. The introduction will be short and sweet this week, as I would just like to remind everyone that next week we will be taking a little break from the campaign to enjoy a level 20 one-shot DM'd by our own Reggie Morris. The one-shot will take place in the Lands of Whimselton, and all of our characters will be attempting to stop the cataclysmic event that could end an era. Now, without further delay, we resume as Brakka is frantically trying to open a hatch while the water level rapidly rises beneath him like a growing geyser. Brakka, make a strength saving throw with disadvantage.
7. Disadvantage really got me. I got a 15 on the first one.
So, in your panic state, as you realize the water is rising extremely fast, you begin to try to push and push and push on this hatch, and you're not quite able to make it. Roll a dexterity saving throw.
A 7.
7?
Oh my God, Brakka's
Okay.
gonna die. There's not gonna be any blood because he's gonna drown.
And we'll never find the body. Mama should have let him go off on his own.
Well,
You take 2 points of bludgeoning damage from 2d6. No joke.
Wow.
As the water from below you rushes and slams you into the hatch, which gives way and shatters, and you fly up, and you land.
At the feet of Ibron.
yeah. And then since I still have Hunter's Mark on me, he just shakes me.
my
Found
God.
Says, thanks for coming right here.
Oh,
Oh, well.
you skipped a whole
I
level.
skipped a whole region.
Oh, gosh. Why are there trees everywhere?
There's stumps. There's stalag.
No, they're definitely tree stumps.
We
Those
have
are tree
enough
stumps, though.
stalagmites.
Oh.
Oh, they're fucking
Oh,
trees.
no, they're stumps. No, they're trees.
I just to clarify, I have one more second level spell slot.
Okay.
All out of everything else.
I'm out of spell slots.
As the worms.
We didn't use that last Cure Wounds one, right?
Oh, that's right.
So I'm outside.
You're outside. You continued and followed the shaft, and when the vacuum ends, it ejects you out of that, and you land on your back, looking up. You took 2 points of bludgeoning already,
Yeah.
because you're slammed against there.
Yeah, if you landed with the water too, would it be kind of a little bit softer? Like all the water's coming down to you, like
You
whoosh.
take 4 points as you land, because you land on hard ground, the way that you were ejected from where you came out of, and you're laying on your back looking up, and looking up you can see what looks like a dead tree, like a dying tree. As you look over towards the door, you can see Puck leaning up against the wall, holding his side, and you can see the other goblins that were with him laying dead on the ground with arrows in them.
Well, Brakka genuinely doesn't really have a reaction to it. Just kind of looks at him. Is he? Brock is just gonna ask: is he still inside or is he out here?
He doesn't respond. He's leaning against the wall, and he just has this
He did.
stare. Just looking straight into the tree line of the dead trees. You take a minute to kind of breathe in as you're, recovering. You're like, and then you take a moment as you're, and your breathing settles, and you start to realize it smells awful where you are. And you've heard of the like just absolutely atrocious smell that is linked to the Dalmont Bog, and you're pretty sure that's where you are.
Okay.
Oh, it's like hundreds of years old.
Okay.
It's awful.
So, Puck's not moving at all, right?
No, he did.
Okay, so he's dead. Okay. Brakka is going to very, very quickly take. Hang on. Let me look. Let me look and see what I have real quick. How big's the crystal? How big do I remember the crystal being?
The size of Brakka,
Okay.
pretty much.
Yeah, it was like almost 3 feet long, I think.
Okay.
And it's in your bag of holding.
Yeah. And that's a problem.
Is it though?
What's the problem?
Well, I don't want it to be in there because if I see Ibron, I was gonna, bag of holding.
Oh.
So, because I can't beat him in just a straight up fight if I see him, so I was just gonna, try and hopefully, yeet my bag of holding, the small one, into the other bag of holding.
How much more of the aquatic stuff do you have?
The small one with all the gold.
Yeah,
that he's never
how
told us
much
about.
longer do I have on it?
So you probably have another
I have like 1,000 gold in this.
5 to 8 minutes left.
How long do I
Well, it's
think
10
it'll-
minutes,
Yeah,
right?
Right, but
Okay.
when he took another one, because he made another one before it
Oh,
expired, because he had mentioned he was like, if it's gonna wear off,
That's right.
I'm gonna make and take another one. So he's actually on his second one.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So it's probably been like 12 to 15 minutes. So you have like 5 to 8 minutes left.
How long do I think it'll take to swim back?
Well, running it took you. So you're already about 5 minutes in. You could, but it would be like right at the time that you have.
Like if I just haul ass the whole way?
Yep.
Okay. Okay. Scratch the original plan. Brock is just gonna, look around real quick. Can I do a quick perception check to just
Absolutely.
take in my surroundings?
Roll perception check to take in the surroundings.
Okay.
And sorry, I wasn't metagaming with that. I was just curious. Sorry, I didn't mean to
No,
change
no.
the course of
With
action.
what?
With asking how much time you had left.
Oh
I
no,
was
I
curious.
was about to ask that too. 19.
So as you look around, like I said, you've picked up a lot and you kind of piece together. You're probably somewhere near the Dalmont Bog, and as you look over the door that you see that is leading to where you just came from, basically, as you kind of piece that together, is open still.
Okay. Is it like dark, like pitch black over here? Well, besides the dark vision.
No, it is no longer dark. It is probably mid-afternoon.
Okay.
So it's still sunny. You do notice that there is, well, I wouldn't even say it's sunny. It's more overcast. The storm that you guys kind of saw coming in seems to either stretch or have moved in this direction. And at the same time, there is this almost like a supernatural haze that is just at the top of the trees of this gray purplish color that just kind of blocks out anything above it.
Okay. Okay. The door's open. I'm not gonna move near it. Brock is gonna, realize that he doesn't have a lot of time left on his aquatic adaptation to start swimming back. Because he's not gonna go through there because he thinks it burns in there.
Do you walk anywhere near Puck?
No.
You're not walking near him?
Well, unless I can see from here that he's dead, or I think he's dead, from here, I'm not going near him because Brakka thinks even if he's alive, it's a trap somehow.
With a 19 perception, you see he's staring off. You do see so the other goblins are dead. They're near him, but he is kind of he's got his hand around one of their heads, holding them near him,
Yeah.
and just kind of looking off into the bog and just staring in that direction. But you do see kind of a rise and fall of his chest, he is breathing, but he's just fixed on a point looking into the bog.
Margot's gonna turn around and look at it.
You don't see anything. You do notice as he looks off in that direction, kind of that haze. It's almost like it looks to you like the haze drops down, almost like it's some type of veil blocking any view further into the Delmont Bog.
Okay.
Well, further into the tree line.
Okay. And you said he's right by the doorway, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He doesn't want to go near him.
Yep, he's next to the stalagmite to the right of the door.
Okay.
And he's kind of propped up leaning against it. He does have, 2 arrows in him, and the other ones are just littered with arrows.
Hang on. Can I do an insight check to kind of, I don't know, surmise that this could be some sort of trap? Like Puck's bait in some way?
Sure.
Okay.
Need to think about it.
Okay. 5. Well, had a good idea.
You feel like it
Dice
could be a
didn't think
trap.
so.
It could not be. You do see that Puck seems to be in some type of trouble, and he's hurting, holding his side and holding one of the other goblins just near him.
Okay. I can't risk going near him, because all that's going through Brakka's mind is Ibron's like waiting around the corner, or he's in the woods already, like waiting for me to go over there. So Brakka's gonna make the choice to leave Puck there and start swimming back.
Okay.
Because he just has a blank expression. Is his breathing like he's barely breathing? Because you said like rise and fall of the chest, but he's bleeding a lot. And he has 2 arrows in him.
I mean, he's breathing as calm as you can for how injured he is. Like, he's had time to catch his breath. He's holding his side. With your insight, well, you only rolled a 5 for insight, so
Yeah.
I don't think Brakka's really certain. He's kind of perplexed because, one, you just made a shit ton of noise
Yeah.
with that breaking, and Puck didn't even
Didn't even
break
react
to
it.
look and react over there. He's just staring into the bog right now,
Yeah.
holding another goblin and holding his side, and kind of slumped over.
Yeah. Brakka knows that he's very low on resources, and he's not. It wouldn't be a waste, but using it in this sort of situation, there's no guarantee that Puck would even get out alive, because we're gonna have to swim all the way back or go all the way through.
Right.
So Brakka's just gonna leave him and just start swimming back with the little time he has left on his adaptation.
So are you swimming to where you can find the debris from the platform and going in to the mine shaft, or how are you swimming?
I mean, just the way I came back
Okay.
to get back, because you said if I start swimming now, I'll barely make it, right?
Make a Constitution saving throw.
Okay. So, natural 20.
You begin to run out of air as you're getting close, but where you're at, you realize with your dark vision you can see what looks like a hard angle, that 90-degree angle you've been looking for as you swim through the mine shaft. And you know that as soon as you get there, it's just straight up, and you're able to get to it and kick off the bottom and go straight up. And as you come out, you can feel whatever altered that allowed you to swim underwater. It ends and changes as you get about 20 feet from the surface, and you're able to breach the surface before you take any damage or you have any trouble breathing. But you do take one of those, you're gasping for breath when you come up.
Yeah.
It was cutting it close.
Okay. So yeah, Brakka will, like you said, breach the surface, big gasp for air. You said the water level dropped, right? Since it rose all the way over there.
Yes.
Okay. How far
That
did it
took probably about 15 minutes since you left Katie.
Right.
then you took off running in the tunnels. So we'll get back to there in a minute.
Okay.
Katie and Agard. You guys began to head that direction. We're going to say it was probably 2 to 3 minutes from when you guys had last seen Brakka, when you guys decided to turn and keep going. What would you guys like to do?
I mean, Agard is going to, again, kind of walking with Katie, kind of, again, point nose toward where the gate was, and just start heading that way where we know everyone else is gone, and see if Katie wants to follow her. So.
Yeah, Katie would follow where Agard would want to go.
Okay.
Because we don't know where Brakka is. I'm assuming she's just sitting here thinking, okay, he knows where Brakka should be, so she's going to follow you.
Okay. And then Agard's going to continue to use his keen smell to see if he now, since we know Brakka is underwater, so he's not going to smell that. See if he can smell the goblins and which way they went.
Okay.
So you want to roll for that?
You felt,
Yeah, go ahead.
you smelled death.
Let's hope we're better than that. Yeah, 18.
So as you begin passing through here,
Yeah.
you can follow their scent
So we went through the gateway,
through the gate, and you enter into another,
head north.
what looks like another chamber,
Mm-hmm.
and you do hear the sound of drips in the water. And as you look to your left, you can see what looks like a larger lake, with a bunch of different. You don't see any like platforms or shafts on this area. You just see what looks like different types of rocks protruding from the water and from the surface of the water.
Can Agard approach that water and sniff around it to see if he picks up Brakka's scent, not knowing? I mean, knowing there's another pool of water, maybe he might.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Go ahead and make another one.
15 was the best.
15. You don't pick up Brakka's scent or
Okay.
anything. What is Katie doing as you guys are walking through? Just kind of following. Give me a perception check.
She's literally just concerned about Brakka and following Agard. She rolled a 2.
Okay.
She's not seeing anything around her.
You guys continue to make your way through that room.
And when did Brakka explode out of the little pond thing in the trees?
Would we have heard it?
You're about to.
Would we have heard
Oh,
it?
okay.
Yeah, you guys are about to. So when you make it to about here,
Yep.
as you guys are cautiously walking through there, you can hear what sounds like an explosion. Just before you heard that, make another check based on smell.
Okay. Okay, that is. Ooh. If I keep that one.
And Katie, go ahead and make a
27.
check based on smell as well. 27.
I mean, I think Agard would also be trying to smell for like Ibron too. Like, I mean, I think it's just kind of a whatever different scents there are.
You're following the scent of what seems like goblins and a similar smell to Ibron.
Is that just perception? Because I
That-
don't have
that's all
anything
your
that's specific with smell.
yeah. I think it's perception check.
So 10.
10. You smell something strange, but you can't quite place it. Agard, you are. Sorry, it's iron. You can smell a very, very heavy iron smell in the air, and as you start to be able to smell that, and it kind of registers that it could potentially be blood, you hear what sounds like an explosion outside.
Okay.
And you can hear debris clattering around.
Yep.
It's similar to sound you've experienced before, which was in the other chamber when that water came up and burst and destroyed one of the platforms.
Okay.
And that's what you got.
But nothing from the water with the stone.
Nothing from the water with the stones in it in the room that you guys just passed through.
Did we notice anything weird about the stones? Are they just like everything else around us?
Just like everything else around you.
Okay. I mean, Agard's gonna want to investigate the sound.
I would follow you. I rolled a 2 for perception of anything but you. I'm
Right,
following along with.
I guess we head towards the dough.
As you're walking, you guys do notice that the door does appear to be opened already. It's not wide open, it's not closed, but it is kind of cracked. And you did have that heavy smell of iron as you begin walking towards it. Who would like to push the door open?
Hagar's always going to put himself before anything, one of those people, so...
I mean, I'd be walking behind you. I wouldn't be following you.
Yeah.
So technically.
But
unless you stop to allow me first.
Sure. Yeah.
But I don't know if you would.
I mean, he just wouldn't.
Yeah.
What is your passive perception?
18.
18? So you pause...
Oh, wait, no. That's the bear, though. Hold on. No,
Oh.
that's Agar. Let me check the bear. Sorry.
Well, don't you still have your passive as you as the bear, or
No,
does it take
perception,
theirs?
passive
Oh.
perception. There are some stats that, like the physical
Remain the
stats you take on, and then there's a few other stats, like perception is what the bear is, and that's 13.
Okay. You don't instantly notice it until you are able to get through the door.
Mm-hmm.
But once and I wouldn't even say your full body is through the door, you're about halfway through, and you can see what looks like bodies. And as you turn to look and investigate, you can see the other goblins are laying on the ground, full of arrows, and you see Puck just with this 1,000-yard stare, looking into the bog. You do notice that his chest is rising and falling slowly.
Okay.
It seems like it's calmed breathing.
Okay.
And you do notice that there's debris, like wood and debris,
Sure.
littered around here, and water that is all the way up to the cave that looks like it is kind of making its way back to...
But no sign of Brakka.
No sign of Brakka.
Okay. Seeing the others are dead, he's not concerned with that. Seeing Puck, he'd like to, kind of grab his shirt or whatever with his teeth and pull him back through the door.
Okay.
So then Katie sees Agar kind of poke half his body out of the doorway and then come back with Puck. Like Puck's shirt, like dragging him back through the door.
Make a perception check as he pulls him back through the door.
Oh, that one's better. That's 15.
As Agard pulls Puck through the door, you do notice that 1,000-yard stare, but you can see what looks like tears coming down Puck's cheeks as well. He's not fighting being pulled back, but you can tell that there's a lot of emotion going through him right now. If you want to make an insight check with advantage, you can.
Puck, what happened?
He killed him. He was waiting for us. We followed him. We came through the door, and we were just... One person couldn't have done this. There were so many arrows. He killed them. He killed everybody. I never should have asked them to help me. And he just continues to stare. He stares out the door.
Yeah, I got nothing.
Vagar? You dragged Puck back in, you heard Katie ask him, and you heard Puck's response, and he hasn't...
Does he... There's physical wounds.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
So Agar is gonna kind of point to those with his paw, and then kind of motion for Katie to come over and point to the wounds again. And you do an insight if you want to figure out what he's trying to say there.
So Katie will do her cure wounds and heal in 5.
It's good, because Puck is dying.
Yeah.
He was...
And then Agard wants to go back out and sniff around that receding pool to see if there's any scent of Brakka in that area.
Okay. You leave the door from where the caves were, and you make your way over towards where the receding water was, and you start to sniff and smell around. You do pick up a little bit of Brakka's scent briefly. Go ahead and roll another perception check based on smell.
Oh, that's damage. Okay, 15.
Brakka has been here, but again, the scent doesn't really extend past the land. It's around the tree and to the shoreline, and then it just disappears again.
Okay.
You guys were about a minute behind Brakka.
Sure.
And he jumped back in and started swimming through.
Yeah.
Of course.
So he's going to go ahead and pick up the 2 goblin bodies and bring them back in the door. So not just sitting out in the bog.
And you see Puck, he, as you bring them in, he comes over and helps lift basically their legs as you're kind of holding their shirt and carrying them in, and he brings them in, and then you see him kind of put their arms almost like ritualistically for kind of a warrior's death. And he begins to make what looks like a small makeshift pyre as he walks out and collects branches and things from the trees nearby.
So nobody's shooting at us. Okay. Well,
That's what
that's what I was waiting for. I was waiting for like
that's why I didn't want to
a whole volley of arrows to come through the
That's
bog.
why I didn't want to walk up on him.
Okay, so at this point, Agard's going to just drop the bear form. If he's not feeling like there's any more immediate threat, he's just dropping it.
Yep, you don't feel like, I mean, there's still tension.
Jeez.
But yeah, you don't feel like there's an immediate threat. Nobody's been hit in a while. I mean, you guys could ask Puck how long it's been.
Well,
since they were shot, but
could now that I'm not in the bear form.
I wouldn't have thought about it.
Brakka, you make it back as you come up and you have that big gasp for air. Agard and Katie, go ahead and make perception checks with disadvantage.
Okay. A 10.
3.
So you guys do not hear Brakka's gasp for air.
Yeah, that's fine.
You guys are 2 chambers over from him.
Right.
We're going to say that, well, Agard, you said you were helping Puck.
Yeah, just put the bodies in.
Correct.
So.
Yeah, pull the bodies in and that stuff. So he's going to start building the pyres, and while he's doing so, he's going to pause for a minute and look at both of you and just say, I'm sorry that I got you guys involved in this.
Should be.
I really...
Sorry.
Wow.
Just actively burying his friends. You should be, man.
Yeah, your friends are dead because of you.
I mean, all of them. Like, not just 1 or 2, all of them.
It is at this point that he does look at you guys and he apologizes and kind of says, I didn't realize, I guess, how much power these hags had kind of brought together. I don't want to ask you guys to continue. If you want to, you can. I'm not going to force you, but I'm going to see this through to the end.
As am I. They corrupted one of our friends, and I need to see if it can be undone. I will not stop until I find out.
They disappeared into the bog. I say they. 2 hobgoblins were waiting at the door. We were chasing. You said his name. What was this? You knew him?
His name is Ibron.
Ibron, when he came through the door, the two were waiting on the other side, and they began running into the mist. And as we gave chase and came out, arrows just seemed like they came from everywhere. I don't want to get anyone else injured, and I can't allow this to continue to fester and grow in the region. I have to do something, even if it costs me my life. I'm seeing this through to the end.
Puck, how far are we? You know this area better than we do. How far are we from where we left Alfred and Julianne?
Kind of looks around. I mean, we've been kind of took shortcuts to get here. If we went back through, it would probably take us, I'd say, 8 to 10 hours to get back to where we came from. But over land, I mean, we're looking at much longer. There's different... Golden Fang Forest is a little north of here. That could cause things to slow down. And then the path is not necessarily a direct path to Evorgos from where we are. We would have to go up and follow it winding. It'd be about a day's travel, I think, on the road.
How about flying?
I don't know. I've never flown.
Right. So we need to find our friend Brakka first, and then I believe we need to go back and gather again with Alfred, and we need to gather ourselves. We've been injured and badly defeated today.
Yeah.
Brakka, you're walking into the room at the time following the voices, and you can hear Agar say, "We need to find Brakka."
Okay. And I'm just gonna kind of walk up behind them, not really say anything.
Oh, by the way, Agar looks 18 bad right now.
Wow.
Specifically 18.
Just the bear was 16 gooder. Agar's 18 badder.
Oh my god.
So Brakka, you walk up, you don't really say anything, but you're standing behind, and you can see Puck building like pyres and burials with dead goblins atop of them.
You should remember the smell of roasted goblin, Agar.
I just picture Brakka walk up and casting grease on both of them, like, burn, baby, burn them.
Here, let me help you out. Ignite this fire.
No, Brakka has like
Fire
an
festival
expression
over
on his face, like he's just thinking, like just in deep thought. Like when he's like that, he doesn't say anything.
Brakka, it's good to see you. We did not know where you went.
Oh yeah. Sorry for not really saying anything to either of you. We're just kind of going off my own. Thought I was onto something, but I guess looking through the doorway now. Just ended up over there. Brakka at this point is gonna like walk out into the bog area, I guess.
Okay.
Just look out. So you said there's like a veil?
It's like the... It's like like I said, there was like that supernatural mist over the trees.
Yeah.
It's like, as you look out, it looks like that begins to drop down and cover things. So as you begin to walk in, and you were to walk in through it, just so you guys know, moving forward, you would see clear in front of you, but it just always looks like it drops. So as you get far enough in, it's going to look like there's a bubble around you.
Okay, right.
It's kind of like walking through fog. Like
Yeah.
fog, you can't
Very-
see very
very
far,
much.
but then right next, yeah.
Very much so.
Did you say that Brock has heard of this area before?
He's heard of the Dalmont Pod.
Okay. Could I do a check to figure out, because I didn't hear the conversation,
Mhm.
could I do a check to figure out how far we are, like, relative like to where we originally were, like above ground?
Do you guys have that map from Ringed Flame?
Mm-hmm.
Who had it?
On Brock's got everything.
You would have to compare it to the map.
Okay, I'll take out the map.
But, and similar to what I had told to Alex for Agard, you looking at it, you're confused with how quickly you got to where you believe you are on the map, where the Dolmon Bog is, because it should take about a day to a day and a half above ground based on the actual cart paths and everything.
Cart path? This is a private or public course?
Okay. But since we essentially just went straight down and like through tunnels, or even still how?
It is more of a direct route than the actual roads.
Yeah, that makes sense. You don't have to. You can go under a mountain as opposed to having to go
Right.
over.
Yeah. Okay. So do I think, like, I guess what Puck said, it'll take like 8 to 10 hours to get out of here, then like back to the surface?
Yeah, if you go back through the caves and the tunnels, it would probably take you. It took you about 8 to 10 hours to get to where you are.
Okay.
Because remember when we started and you guys went in, it was more like morning, but an overcast storm had come in. It was around dawn, but at this point you're at like midday, or a little after midday, mid-afternoon.
Right.
So it was about 8 to 10 hours that you guys have been traveling since you left Agard, or since you left Alfred and Julian. Don't shake your head at me.
I'm not. It's a tick.
Now you've got Dryad.
Okay.
I think we should head back to camp. It will be a long journey, but hopefully we'll not run into any opposition.
Do you want to rest first or just go straight there?
We could rest briefly, I believe, but I think we should head back.
I mean, I'm good to go now if you all want to.
I will probably change into a form that would be slightly easier for me to navigate for a little while.
Right. Are the arrows still in Puck?
Hmm?
Are you keeping those in intentionally, or did you want them pulled out?
I can get them in time. I wanted to take care of these two first.
Okay. You can get infected pretty quickly, so I recommend dealing with it rather soon.
I'm telling you.
Wow,
This
that's
is
weighted.
Puck's
Those
dice.
are weighted.
That's the third one.
Those are weighted dice. Come on.
I think this is the fifth or sixth one I rolled like with that dice since getting them.
Yeah.
And tonight I rolled 3. After you say that, Puck just reaches up and literally just pulls both of the arrows that were in his shoulder out and just drops them.
Oh, great. Psycho.
There goes all the
Ready
healing.
to go back to
He
camp,
just-
too.
Sorry, what'd you say?
I'm ready to go back to camp as well.
Katie, are you okay?
It's been a lot.
It has been. This has been a hard few days for all of us, I think.
You guys see as Puck is prepping those bodies, he does take the keys off of the one and walks to the door and pulls it shut. And then you can hear, as he tries a couple different keys before you hear the he locks the door that is leading into these tunnels. And he walks back and he turns and looks at you, the group, and just says, I really should find the others that went to go get reinforcements and let them know what happened. I can meet you guys and we can continue on, or if our paths cross, our paths cross. What would you prefer?
I'll leave that up to you two. I mean, you and Katie.
Well, we were going to head back to our camp to meet with Alfred, and we will try to figure out what needs to happen from there. We need time to rest and recollect our thoughts.
I will gather as many of the others as I can, and we will regroup and push forward from the locked door here and push into the bog and do as much as we can. If we see you, then know that the goblins are your friends. If we don't, then I do honestly hope that we can get these crystals back to you and get rid of them. Were you able to grab the one that was in the big chamber?
Yes, it is secure.
Well, that was a pretty large crystal. That should be a pretty good blow to the hags.
Hopefully. I don't. How many more do we need, or is this one of the last ones?
I do not
We'll have to
remember.
ask Alfred.
Agard will reach out his hand to shake.
That's good. It's his last one that's missing, so he'll reach out with his right hand.
No, it's not. Because every time you did the running
Nope,
thing, you
nope.
did with this one.
No, I put this one away.
No, check the tapes.
So check the tape.
I'll go back and listen to the
Roll it
recordings.
Agard holds out his hand like this.
Just grab it.
Just shake his hand. Good luck to you. Do hope to cross your path again.
I hope to see you again as well, and I wish you guys good health and good fortune. And with that, you guys kind of part ways. Puck reminds you of some of the secret passages to cut down some time.
We have the map. We can just reverse engine the map, right?
He will actually show you a couple of the secret passages that you guys didn't take.
Ooh.
To cut down time. You guys are probably going to be able to make it back in like 5 or 6 hours. So you'd be able to make it back in time as the sun is already set, but it would be more nighttime.
Mm-hmm.
As you guys are coming out of the caves and headed into the tree line there nearby. This is where we're going to end this week's episode. The party is emerging from the caves at nightfall near the clearing where they left Alfred and Julian north of Evorgos. Thank you, friends and fellow adventurers, for coming along for the ride with our party. We hope you are enjoying the story as much as we all are. Just a reminder that for the next few weeks, we will be taking a slight break from the campaign and getting into a level 20 one-shot. Will our party be able to stop the impending end of an era? Or will one of the party members betray the others and attempt to take power for themselves? Tune in next week as we venture into the region of Whimselton. As you're walking from the chamber you're at, you're kind of walking in the direction you would know your friends had gone. You can hear Alfred. God, Alfred.
Wow.
I mean, hey,
He hasn't even been in this
just
section.
Shut
do
up.
better.
Shut up. You hear Agard.
Right?
You hear. Good God.
I wasn't making noise though. Oh my
No,
God.
but I fought one off and then I'm witnessing another.
I'm sorry. I hate you.
It's so
I'm
easy
so
sometimes.
tired.
It's so easy. I'm sorry, go ahead. So, Brakka found us.
So as Agard is saying, we need to find Brakka. No, it's Agard. I got it right.
Good job.
As Agard is saying, we need to find Brakka. I almost said as Agard says we need to find Alfred. For fuck's sake.